Hello, welcome back to Spiritual Maintenance. I am your spiritual advocate, Mystic Mary. This video is on the blueprint of manifestation. And this is more to give you an idea of what manifestation looks like um, to keep from self sabotaging and to keep from um, beliefs that might hinder your manifestation. So um, it was brought on by the metaphor that I had shared last weekend regarding the creation, essentially the tree of life within the model of, air above, water beneath, the intellect, the emotions, and how those together um, create create. And then also in my original channeling where I had like a whole bunch of notes, I had here, let me just kind of show you guys just lots of scribbling. So just not scribbling, it's writing, but so I was shown kind of like this. So this was like the ice and then the little pockets kind of up here too, the pockets of air, but it was shown to me like this, like up here is kind of like the galaxy where it was like stars and whatnot, and then below I think you can see that it like showed up as people, and that the brightness was the star within them, their soul. So it was kind of like that metaphor of um, the star seed um, visual, so to speak. So again, the sun is a star, and it is within um, the Earth's existence. Um, and so our star is what fuels our existence, is kind of the metaphor that I got there. Okay, so trying to think how to present this in a way that just flows naturally. Um, I drew my tree of life and how you manifest. So it's not, reminding a little bit, it's not about, okay, I want this, and so boom, $1 million are going to come to me. That's not how manifestation works. Going back to scripture and like living in the perspective of poverty. So what happens with people who live in poverty is they rely heavily on the bartering system of like, what can I give you to, do the exchange, because currency isn't um, always available. And so it's basically spirit saying currency is not needed for your manifestation. It is the energetic exchange, the connections that you have with others, that reciprocity, again, where communication comes in. And effective communication means um, an effective business, an effective kingdom. And I think that's what we're going to stick with, kingdoms. We're all kings and priests within our kingdom. And so when you are manifesting, you have that visual of the end goal. That seed is planted, and then what happens? That root comes through. And that is where the beginning of the manifestation happens. And then the stem, the trunk, grows next. Out come the branches, leaves, then the product, the fruit of your labor. Okay, so basically, this is manifesting a business, is how I'm supposed to be presenting it to you. This is your ticket to freedom, aka, is what I heard. Um, so the roots, is skills, practice, training if needed. So when you have your visual of like, this is what I want, and thinking of what do I like to do, let's say you like to play the guitar, um, practice it. See if you need training to get any better, and then use that to create your business upon. Because when your heart and soul is in what you are creating, it will thrive. If your heart and soul is not in it and you're just kind of looking around you and being like, well, this is working for that person, so I think I'm going to do this. Um, it's not always successful because your heart and soul wasn't in the making of the product. Instead, you just took it and then you used your own spin. Um, but it's not all of you in it. So that's why it's so important to figure out what you want, not what you think you should be doing. We're all given talents. If you cannot figure out, like, well, what do I like to do? Usually there's a lot of trauma there. Stolen child is essentially what that is. You did not have a childhood. It was stolen from you due to neglect, abuse, trauma, etc. So your job, if you're at that point, is to let your inner child out, let yourself play, let yourself explore, and find what fuels your soul. And that could be literally anything: singing, playing the guitar, gardening. You could be good at running. Um, you could be the next athlete. Who knows? Um, I heard Brainiac, so somebody out there, that's your thing. If you were wondering, like, what Brainiac, you might be the producer, inventor, whatever of something. I heard staple of the earth. So don't doubt your skills because one of you out there is a brainiac and you have the ability to create um, the next thing. Just like when the cell phone became a thing and how confused everyone was, just like, how does this thing work? That impact you're going to have on whatever it is that you create. So do it. Don't doubt yourself. Just do it. Focus on that skill that you have. And now I'm talking to everybody. Focus on the skill that you have. Practice it, practice it, practice it. Manifest. So that's going up to the trunk now. Manifest time and space for you to practice the skill. So the actual skill and the practice of it is that nurturing. It's that love of it. Those emotions come in there. So think of like the darkness under the earth that's being nurtured by the water. The emotional. It feeds your soul. You feel it. So if you don't feel it, it's not for you. Wait until you feel it and you're like, that's it. That's my niche. Okay, now going up, time and space. Thinking of that model, that the place up here, the air, the holding space, the masculine energy of your company, your kingdom, holding space. So nurturing that skill, you're feeling it. Now we're holding space and time for it to grow. Once it's growing, out come the branches. And what are the branches? Connections. I don't know why I just presented it that way, but there we go. So connections, that's that word of mouth of like, hey, I do this. I've been doing this. Would you like to see, hear, etc.? This, and you're sharing it. Website, creating a website where you're showing. A YouTube channel where you're showing what you're doing. And then connecting on like a professional level. So if you need a license to be professional, seek out the best platform for that. Liability, same thing. Seek out what liability insurance best covers you, because 3D people be 3D people. So always cover there. So liability. And then any other business documents that you need, whether that's trying to think of the exact name for it, but basically when you get your EIN, you're giving that yearly report of your EIN, well, of your earnings is what the yearly report is, or bi-yearly, depending on what is in your state. Making the connections with an accountant. So once you're making money, you have somebody that knows they know how to make everything work for you. And then I'm also hearing the need to create that account that's specifically for your business, for your kingdom, is what's going to protect it. And I'm mainly seeing that in that um, power and control systems, where if you are in a situation where you're like, I don't know how to get out of this because so and so keeps the money. Gender is not relevant here because it goes both ways. Um, Creating that account on your own where it's you're the sole owner, that money's going into there. They can't look into it. Obviously, if there's a split, depending on what state you're in, that there could be that split of it, but at least you have something in your name, and it's yours. So that was very specific for somebody out there, of just almost using it as like a savings, to help you get out of whatever you're in. Okay, next comes the leaves, and that's business expenses. And that is where that energetic flow, the star of each other comes in. So this is what you've created. And now with that connection of others, the light, the sun shining through, is how your fruit grows. Because let's say you're really good at crocheting. Your expenses are going to be needles. It's going to be yarn. It's going to be those spot savers, stitch savers. Don't remember the exact name of that. Patterns. You get my drift. So by making connections with others, or even just shopping, you are making a flow of currency, a flow of energy. If you're bartering, there's that flow of you give me this, I'll make you this. That give and take, reciprocity. It is so needed in thriving now, because when you have that reciprocity, then those people can give that. They're the best advertisers you've got, because it's word of mouth. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this, and then they tell all their people, and then if you have several of them and they're all going, it just webs out, and then before you know it, you have a thriving business with minimal advertisement happening. That is the need for connection. And then, of course, with what you got, then the fruit. And then the fruit depends on the love that is put into it. So having your heart and soul. So your energy with that love for what you're doing, it is what is going to create a profound product that people will keep coming back for. Because when you love what you're doing, you put twists and spins on it that feed your soul, that makes it unique, and that make people coming back for more, because they're like, what are they going to make this time? What are they going to produce this time? What are they going to create this time? They're intrigued by it. When your heart and soul is not in your business, you cut corners. You put less effort and energy into it, and that shows up in your product, whether right away or over time. And then if you have that mentality of, well, I'll just hire people, they'll do it for me, and this will be going. You have to make sure that the people you are hiring absolutely love what it is that they're producing, that they're creating, that they're advocating for. Because if they don't, it's going to reflect in how it goes forward. And this little bit showed up for me as well, of end of life cycle, what to do with the business. And that is basically dividing it, like selling it piece by piece, selling the product, selling the building, selling the this, that, or whatever, instead of just selling the company. Because if you sell a company, yes, you get money for it, but it's probably not going anywhere. It's just going to go into the ground. unless you sell it to somebody who absolutely loves what it is and you can tell, and they will take it to the next level. And I'm hearing like the selling piece by piece is what will provide for your offspring because you'll get more from that. And then selling to the person that absolutely loves it, making a clause with a percentage going to your offspring, because that's the whole point of the business, is for your offspring, not so that they can ride the money wave, but so that they have enough to then create theirs, because our offspring are not an extension of us. They are their own souls. They have their own purpose, and they need to be allowed to follow their own goals. So if you do not have an offspring that absolutely loves what you're doing, ending having that money go where it needs to, and you could do a point system too, where it's like, your immediate, your children, they get 3 points, your grandchildren get 2 points, and your great grandchildren get 1 point. And what that means is that you take all those points together, divide the inheritance by that number, and then that's how you divide it out equally. Again, I don't know why I'm sharing it in that detail. Someone must have needed to hear all this. So awesome, I guess. No, not I guess. I think that's awesome. Because then it gives you a visual of what you're leaving behind before you even get started. And I think that's really cool, especially with that visualization of like children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, and how they're going to be left to do whatever they want to do, but the reason they could was because of what you created. So that's really cool. But yeah, back to the whole manifesting, is you manifest time and space to do your craft, then you manifest the best website builder. You manifest the best, the best company for liability. And that is where you're just visualizing, this is the type of liability I would want. I'm putting it out there, and then before you know it, it's all coming to you. And then the expenses, you're manifesting those expenses of just like, okay, I need this, this, and this, and this. So I'm putting it out there, and I'm going to be led wherever I need to be led. And before you know it, stuff just starts popping up. You find it at amazing prices. Some people are like, hey, I'm getting rid of this. Do you want this? The next thing you know, you have a giant basket of yarn if you're the crocheter or knitter, and you're like, awesome. I can build my product already. And that is living in the spirit of poverty, of just being open to receive and knowing that it will happen in whatever way it is meant to show up. And then you're not worrying about, oh, do I need to play the lottery? Do I need to? Because you know what you need, because you've already put the visual out of like, I want a company that shows all of the different things I can crochet. I'm going to be known for creating these different patterns, all this stuff. And then before you know it, everything you need for that is slowly being given to you. And I'm hearing the reason it's slowly being given to you. So the skills, you get to know it. So when people ask questions, you can respond with confidence. The time and space is going to be given to you so that you are relaxed while making it. Because when you're relaxed and you're still, that's where the magic happens. Those connections will be brought to you, because then they can show you to this person and then this person. So if you meet someone with the liability people, they can be like, oh, I know a great accountant. And it just leads you where you need to go. Being open to receiving, but also following the trail as well. So receiving, doing, ebb and flow. That will lead you to success. what you need will be provided to you. So just know you planted the seed, it's coming to you. And then as you go through each step, each growth of your manifestation, you're also going to be learning lessons, interpersonal skills, all those kind of things that are going to make you the expert at what it is you're doing. And that is what I'm hearing. That is why manifestation has to happen that way, because it's like you keep graduating up and up and up. Because if you're just suddenly given a business and it's just like, there you go, and you don't have a grasp of like certain skills, like you know how to do it, but it's not a firm grasp, that insecurity will show up in how you communicate and how you work those kind of things. And then that can lead to very quick self sabotage where you're like, okay, this is too much. I'm backing away. So letting it happen slowly is where it's at, and being okay with it happening slowly. Okay, I'm hearing not so much slowly, but piece by piece. So depending on how quickly you learn the lesson, the faster you go up. So working through those emotions of just like, ooh, I have feel insecurity with this. How do I overcome it? And then taking that um, mental ability to move forward of like, I feel a pit in my stomach because I keep messing up on this certain stitch. Okay, well now I need to use my mental ability to figure out how to handle this. And then you figure it out. Boom, you've overcome it. Now it's not an issue anymore, etc. And I'm sorry if this is like like usually I say I'm not sorry, but I am. I'm sorry if you feel like I'm dumbing it down too much. Because I feel like there's so many out there that you guys are like on top of it, and like I'm literally preaching to the choir right now. But I feel like there's some out there that like this is super. They're I just like in my brain I just see someone with a notebook like, tell me more, and that's what this is for. Who this is for. Who this is for. Carrying on. Okay. Looking. I think that's everything. I do believe. I did not ever think that I would do spirituality with business, but it makes sense. Like abundance, that's a business. You are your business. Oh, know your worth. Know your worth. Time is money. So those creating the product, and you're like, well, what do I charge? Like if let's say again, we're going back to the crocheting. Um, you could use this for welding too. If you do that woodworking, different things. If you like make something, you're looking like, oh, what's that worth? Um, it's not so much about the visual. It's how much time and energy you put into that. How much is your time worth? How much would you like to be um, paid an hour? Um, for example, if you want to be paid $10 an hour, and I know that's super low, but let's just say you do. Sorry, it's taking me a second because I felt somebody's energy when I said $10 an hour is really low. I felt someone's energy be like, it is almost like they thought that was a lot. And Spirit's saying you're worth so much more. You are. You're worth so much more than that. So let's say you want to earn $10 an hour. And it takes you 15 minutes to create something small. Then obviously you're taking that, you're dividing it 10 by 4, so then 250 for that thing that you made in 15 minutes. Plus whatever expenses went into that. Yeah. So let's say you're woodworking. So the pieces of wood, however much it costs to do that, plus the little knobs, hinges, etc. All of that, you document all of that. That's on the invoice plus 15, 15 minutes of time, this much. And that's how you factor in what something costs. Okay. Okay, I think that's all. I really, really hope this helps somebody. Um, yeah, I really hope it helps somebody. I was gonna say I'm sorry if I bored you, but no, if I bored you, click away. Like, what are you doing? um, yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys around. So much love. Bye.